So this is a driver's side leaf spring, all ready to go back on the car now. I have made some new rebound clips, and the original ones, as you can see, were this strap type, and couldn't really get them off apart from cutting them. And obviously I think these are pretty unobtainable anyway now, so I've made up some new rebound clips with some steel that I already had. And I did purchase a sheet of, I think it's 2 or 3 millimeter rubber sheet off of eBay for about £5. I already had a load of these brackets. Actually, I rescued these from a skip years ago. I think they must be about 2 or 3 mil thick. Yeah, probably 3 mil thick. So all I did was got an angle grinder and cut down the center of this angled bracket, so that it gave me 2 flat steel bars, and then I've just made up these brackets and fitted them on with the rubber sheet in between, so it holds all the leaves together. Purpose of the rebound clip is just to, if the vehicle hits like a big pothole or something, then it stops the main leaf from breaking, because obviously all the time the weight's on the car, the load is spread between all of these leaves. But if for whatever reason the car goes down a pothole in a bit of a hurry, then the whole weight would be hanging on this top leaf spring. So obviously by keeping them all together, it shares the load and hopefully stops the thing from breaking. But yeah, there we go. So new rebound clips fitted, fabricated and fitted, all ready to go back on the car. I'm going to get this back on now. You'll probably notice if you look at the arc of this spring, it's dramatically different from previously. Obviously we've turned the second leaf over, so that is in effect trying to straighten the spring out, and will subsequently lower the rear suspension. So I'm going to get it back on the car now and get the other side off, and I will show you in a bit more detail how I go about doing the reversal of the second leaf. So I'm doing the passenger side rear spring now. As you can see, I showed you in the last bit of video, these are the old rebound clips that I cut off. You can see like that metal strap type, the rubber's all perished, so they've got to go, and I shall make up some new ones like I did before. So this is how the clip's going to start life. Just this sort of 3 millimeter bar. I've actually used, I don't know whether you noticed previously, but on the brackets before they have like this lug, and rather than cut down a whole new piece, I thought I used that lug hole. I just took the tab off. I used that as one of the bolt holes. The other bolt holes here, and this mark is exactly dead center between the center of the 2 holes. So basically what I'm going to do is put this in the center of the spring, clamp it in position, and then knock it over the spring, so that I can get this sort of lovely U-shaped bracket that's going to come up and bolt together and hold all the leaves together. I did find there was a little bit of a problem with the first ones that I did. I didn't allow any distance for the rubber to go around. So what I've done on the last one that I made, I actually got some insulation tape and actually taped some insulation tape around the leaves, and then bash the bracket over afterwards, and then that sort of replicates the clearance needed for the rubber. So hopefully that should work better this time. But I want to get this, I want to get the brackets all made up first, and then I'm going to strip down the leaves, give them a clean, and show you the process of reversing the second leaf. Here we go, and I've just clamped that one in position and bent it over the leaf spring. So that now should give us our clamp for a new rebound clip. So there's one made up, just doing my next one now. There's 2 that hold 3 leaves together, which 1, 2, 3, and one at the back. 1, 2, 3. And this one at the front, that's the second one at the front, holds 4 leaves together, so that one's going to be slightly longer. I shall make that up in a moment. But yeah, we're doing okay, I think. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it all goes to plan. And I'll get this one formed, make the next one, and then I can take the spring apart. Well, there's my 3 brackets made up. I think one of the ones that holds the 2 leaves, I think I may have made it a little bit too big, but hopefully it'll squeeze up and do the job. And if you're wondering why I'm using a bit of studding here on the brackets instead of bolts, there's a couple of reasons for that. The first is I don't have any bolts long enough. Secondly, I have got quite a bit of this studding knocking around because I use these coach bolts. I actually chop the end off of these coach bolts and I use them for another little project. So I've got loads of these bits of studding left over, and this is what I make with the coach bolts. So it's like a steel plant support, daisy. See the coach bolt through the centre there. 2 lots of petals formed, all welded together on a 6mm rod that you can push in the ground to provide a bit of support for your plants and also a little decorative element. They are mild steel, they're welded together, so they will go rusty, but you can obviously paint them or lacquer them if you want them to not go rusty. But if you're interested in these guys, I've got quite a few of them. I'm selling these at £10 each or 3 for 25, and obviously if you buy one of these, you're helping me to get a Moggy back on the road. Right, we're back on the leaf springs. Now what we're doing on the car this time is we're actually lowering the rear suspension on the vehicle. So the rear suspension on this car, on the old Morris Minor, has what we call leaf springs. So it's a spring made up of several different leaves. Originally, because this is an earlier car, it should have had 7 leaves in each spring, but obviously they've been changed at some stage. We've got 5 leaf rear springs on the car. And what we're going to do, because the car was sitting really quite high, but it was wearing 2-inch lowering blocks already, there's no way of actually lowering the car other than making a modification to the spring or buying new ones, which I really can't afford. So this whole restoration is being done quite cheaply. I'm not throwing any real money at the car, and I'm just doing what I can to get it respectable and back on the road. So the plan is we're going to disassemble this leaf spring. I'm going to clean all the components up, and we are going to flip the second leaf. So we're going to turn the second leaf up the other way, mount the spring back together, and what that will do in effect is straighten out the curve of this spring and make the vehicle actually sit lower. So first of all, I'm going to cut off these old rebound clips that we saw earlier. I have made up some new ones which we're going to fit to the springs with some new rubber, and yeah, just going to get it all stripped and reassembled. So I'll probably do a little time lapse of that. I will this time put the bolt in the right way around. Some of you eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed that I got the bolt in the wrong way around. I had a bit of a job when I come to fit it, but I very quickly worked out what was wrong. So yeah, the bolt goes this way, so the smaller section of the bolt sits on top of the spring and the threaded part is underneath. But yeah, we get it all stripped down, cleaned up, and when I go to compress the spring again and fit the bolt back in, I'll take it off time lapse and show exactly what we're doing. So I've got everything cleaned and we're ready now to put it back together, and obviously this is the main leaf. I've also got some copper grease. I'm going to paint some copper grease on all the leaf springs where they actually touch. And this is, if I can find it, there we go. This is actually my leaf spring compressor, which is a piece of M8 studding. I've locked 2 nuts on the end here so that I can actually hold this part in the vise, and a nut on the top. I am going to use another nut just as security, because there's quite a bit of tension on this the other day, and when I was getting near the final stages, I thought that it almost slipped a little bit, so I'm going to put another nut on there just as security. But yeah, we're going to assemble the leaves and put it all back together. So there we go, the spring is all back together with the second leaf flipped, and you can already see that the curve is much less on the spring. I'm just going to, I've cut a strip of the rubber now for the rebound clips, so I'm just going to cut that into sections, clamp the spring up, put the rebound clips on, and then we should all be good to go back on the car. I have actually put the bolt in the right way around as well, so you never know, it might even fit. So there it is. Tools and mess everywhere, I'll have to clear up in a moment, but the new springs are, sorry, the new rebound clips are on, and the spring's ready to go back on the car. So I'll go and get that fitted. And here's the car now, showing its new rear suspension ride height. It's come down quite a bit at the back. I think it looks a lot different from how it did previously. All I've got to do now is get the front down and it'll be good to go. Thanks for watching. See you soon, guys. All the best. Bye now.